Okay, so now it took three movies and probably close to 15 minutes to get to the solution to that, which is fine. We got there. But now, walk through how the solution works here. What do? So the problem was the hypotenuse of a right triangle is 8. You make it a right triangle. And the area is also 8. Find the perimeter. That's the question. All right, so what do?
Well, because the area is 8, this height has to be 2. And because of that, we can get an area formula for this triangle. Or actually, we don't really need this, but it says that x times y over 2 is 8, so x times y is 16.
Okay, x times y is 16.
And then from the Pythagorean theorem, we can get x squared plus y squared is 8 squared is 64.
Okay.
Then, well, since we're trying to solve for x plus y, we gave x plus y a variable. We called it z. And then we square this equation.
Okay, and why? Why did we want to square that equation?
Well, because we can't turn any of these equations into here.
Uh-huh.
So we'll go the other way.
Okay. When you see an x squared plus y squared and you see an xy, that should really remind you of something. Like, what are 2 things that might remind you of?
Well, Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah.
Well.
From algebra. What are the things from algebra that should, when you see an x squared plus y squared and an xy?
Squaring binomials.
Okay. So what are two squared binomials that you might think about seeing x squared plus y squared and an xy?
Well, x plus y squared.
X plus y squared is one thing you might think of.
X minus y squared, maybe.
X minus y squared is one thing you might think of.
Well, we have an x plus y here.
Okay.
So, we get, when we square this equation, we get x squared plus 2xy plus y squared is z squared.
Alright.
We know what xy is. It's 16. So 2xy is 32. We know what x squared plus y squared is. That's 64. So 64 plus 32, 96 is z squared. So z is 4 root 6. And the perimeter is 8 plus 4 root 6.
Perimeter is then 8 plus 4 root 6. That's interesting. Okay. Good work, hon.